Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Chris Mason here with WooCurve. Hope you're doing well, and really excited to be sharing this with you today because we have Cody Diarman, who's the Director of Sales at ShipStation. And ShipStation, I know a lot of you guys are familiar with, especially if you've been on our list for a while. We talk a good bit about ShipStation, but they're a company. They're based in Austin, Texas. A lot of our customers are working with ShipStation. And essentially, they help e-commerce businesses import, manage, and ship their products out to their customers. So they integrate with just about every marketplace on the planet. And, like I said, we've got a ton of customers who are working with these guys. So I thought it'd be a good idea to bring Cody here and just kind of have a conversation to help WooCurve customers, WooCurve listeners who might be considering working with a shipping partner like ShipStation, or you could be in the position where you don't even know anything about shipping partners. And so we're going to talk about the right questions to ask and what are some of the warning signs that you need to watch out for when you do decide to move that way with your business so that you can have the best experience possible. So Cody, I'm really grateful and excited to have you on.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. And just so everybody knows, this is the first time Cody and I have actually met in person. I've connected with other folks on the ShipStation team, and so we just met for the first time a few minutes ago. So Cody, I kind of wanted to dive in. As I said in that intro, we have a lot of customers with WooCurve. They're using ShipStation, and when we first launched, I wasn't that familiar with who you guys were and what you did, and I initially thought that you were into like drop shipping and that type of business model. But then I realized that that's not what you do at all. The more I got into it. So could you just tell the folks listening, the types of companies that you're working with, and more specifically, like how you guys are helping them?
Yeah, sure. Great point. That is a question that we get a lot. So to be upfront, to be clear there, we are not a 3PL. We're not a competitor to FedEx or UPS. We're more of an aggregator, a platform that's going to bring all of this to you in one place. So we're going to save you a lot of time when it comes to getting orders out the door, creating labels in bulk, having all of your carriers in one place. So we really work well with anybody that has orders to get out the door, anyone that sells online. On the low end, we have merchants who just started a business out of their garage, and maybe they ship out a few things a day. On the high end, we have merchants who routinely pump out a million or 2 million shipping labels a month through their ShipStation account. So really anybody that needs to create shipping labels needs a tool to help them efficiently handle all of their e-commerce orders in one place. That's going to be ShipStation's fit.
Awesome. Oh, that's really interesting. So you're not just for folks who are doing, 5, 6, 7 figures a month. Like your offering is scalable enough that even if you're doing a few shipments a month, that would be a good fit.
Yeah, absolutely. So on the low end, we have merchants who are just getting started, or maybe they're new to e-commerce shipping. We can still be valuable for them because through our volume and our expertise in this area, we are actually able to extend some discounted USPS rates that would normally require really high volume to qualify for. So kind of helping the new businesses get some of the advantages of the large enterprises. But then on the high end, we are built to handle really any shipment volume that you can throw at us. On that end, we are saving those enterprise merchants, tons of time because we can help them create labels much, much more quickly than they would outside of ShipStation.
Nice. And I'm interested in your perspective on this, but because you're working in sales, director of sales there, you're kind of on the front lines, connecting with prospective customers. And one of the questions that I had going in preparing for this conversation was, I was curious, is there like a consistent objection that you face, or maybe a consistent question that comes up, like when you're first starting to talk with a potential new ShipStation customer?
Yeah, sure. Great point. Great question. So what we commonly get asked is, why would I get a tool like ShipStation to help me create my labels if I could just do it, one at a time directly through my selling channel? So if I could just log in there, process an order, and ship it out, what's the point of getting a tool like ShipStation and doing it elsewhere? And the reason, first and foremost, is going to be time savings. So it may not seem like much when you're getting started if it's scalable to where you can just knock out one order at a time and quickly create a label that way. But then when you see a spike in business, or when things pick up around the holidays, or you get some unexpected publicity, that's when we see people kind of scrambling. So ShipStation can be put in place regardless of shipment volume, and it automates the process to where it's the same whether you get one order that day, 10 orders that day, 100 orders that day, 10,000 orders that day. ShipStation can be set up to where that process really looks the same for you. The other thing would be that you might be leaving some savings on the table if you are just doing it one at a time directly through your selling platform. Aside from just the time savings, as I mentioned, we're going to give you those high volume discounts for USPS. We have similar arrangements with other carriers, giving you all of these options in one place. So that's going to be the big thing, getting lots of labels created, lots of orders out the door quickly. It may not seem like much of an issue when things are just getting started, or when you can create one label at a time. But then next thing you know, you're a few months down the road, things are picking up, you're getting a lot more orders, and you find yourself spending a couple hours a day copying and pasting addresses or printing one label at a time. ShipStation is going to step in to make your life a lot easier on that front.
Got it. And I was, as you were talking, I was kind of thinking I was going to ask you about, what point when we're building our business, like is there a point that we should start thinking about a shipping partner? And kind of what I'm hearing you say is that you guys really are able to plug in at any level.
Yeah, absolutely. So on one end of the spectrum, we may have merchants who are looking to bring their shipping process into the 21st century. They've created a lot of labels and they have a high volume, but they've been doing it through spreadsheets or copying and pasting one at a time. So we'll help them modernize that. But on the other end of the spectrum, we absolutely have merchants who are just starting a business, just launching. And, a lot of people are excited about the new product that they came up with, or their new marketing campaign, or all these things that they started their business to get involved about. But shipping is kind of the last thing, or at least way down the checklist of things that they think about for their business. So that's what we're here for. So we get to work with thousands of merchants. This is kind of our life. So we get to be the experts on this side of things. So hopefully merchants don't have to stress about it as much. So yeah, absolutely. I would say we help a lot of merchants actually, as they start business, kind of develop a strategy around shipping, again, with the benefits of high volume discounts even for smaller merchants. We absolutely scale with merchants from the start of their business to the high end of the enterprise.
Right. And so then somebody who's listening to this now, that could have given them like an aha moment of, they never really thought about using a shipping partner like ShipStation. And, if they're like me, they want to go out and like do the research, and, you guys have competitors. I know obviously most of our folks are using ShipStation, which is why I reached out to you. But what help us think through like the right questions to ask? Are there warning signs that we want to that they're like dead giveaways of stay away from this person or this company? How do we go about that process of making a good decision?
Yeah, sure. Great point. So what the upside of ShipStation is that you can have the benefits of all these different partners really in one platform. So some of the kind of perils that we might see on someone who does have shipping as an afterthought is that, maybe they just went out and set up one carrier account, and that's the way they've always done things because it's easy and it's what they're used to and it's familiar. And so they just ship with that one carrier and don't really think about it. Well, at that point, you're probably leaving money on the table by not exploring your options. It used to maybe be the case that, adding another carrier or even another selling channel may mean, double the work. Well, with platforms like ShipStation bringing all of this into one place, that doesn't have to be the case anymore. Also, something that a lot of merchants don't necessarily come in asking. This isn't something where they come in asking, hey, do you guys have branded tracking? But something that can really help merchants scale is actually branding the entire process. So we ran the data. Is really interesting. So send out a sales blast or a marketing campaign. You may be expecting, single digit engagement on that email campaign. Well, our data actually showed that the tracking email itself, so the, hey, your order is shipped, here's your tracking information, engagement on that is actually over 100%. Everyone is like me apparently and clicks on that email 3 times a day to see where their shipment is because they're excited about what's coming in the mail. Well, for merchants, that means that that's a huge source of repeat traffic for them if it's leveraged correctly. And again, this isn't something that you really think about when you're launching a business or even if you have an established business, but it's a huge source of repeat traffic. And so we developed a way for, instead of that tracking linking out to USPS.com or FedEx.com or UPS.com, it actually directs back to the merchant with links to the website and social media as well. So I would say thinking a little bit outside of the box there and figuring out how you can leverage really the entire process to drive traffic back to you, to provide a really great end customer experience, and to make sure you're not leaving any money on the table. That's kind of what we're here to do. Again, that wouldn't necessarily be something that might come up as the first or second or third question on your mind as you're exploring options, but that would be something that I would definitely ask if you're exploring vendors. How can you help me get my brand out there? Because, shipping doesn't necessarily feel as cool as marketing, but they actually go really hand in hand if you think about it.
Yeah, that is actually huge. I had not thought about that because what that then allows you to do as a business owner is because I imagine, if you're putting people back onto your website, you could actually, drop a pixel in there for remarketing, custom audiences, and that actually is a way to measure engagement, based on how many times people are coming to track that order. That's really cool. I had not thought about that.
Yeah, exactly. We actually report on that traffic within the ShipStation account, so you can see right there, who's coming back, how many people am I getting back through this tracking email. You can actually even get really creative with it. I've seen merchants who might set up automation in ShipStation to not just say, okay, this particular SKU is always going to ship with this particular service. They may get really creative and say, okay, if I get an order that's over X amount of dollars and it includes these particular items, well, then I want to fire off this specific customized email with messaging for a return purchase to offer this particular customer, listings that they may be interested in, or a promo code for their next purchase, things like that. So, instead of just firing off a tracking number and being done with it, you can really get creative with this process to help drive repeat sales.
Yeah, that's right. Because such a huge part of sales and marketing is in the follow up and how you follow up with customers on an individual level, and that's something that we talk about a lot, about making your marketing as personalized as possible. And this sounds like that's a really cool feature. I didn't know that existed. I might want to do a whole other thing just on how different ways that you can trigger different follow-up and ad campaigns based on that. That's really cool.
Yeah, right on. It's not necessarily something that people come in asking about, but then when we educate them on how you can kind of leverage this process, you see the light bulb go off. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that kind of then one of the questions here to wrap us up is, somebody is working with another partner. What's the process to switch over to ShipStation? Is there any is that a pretty safe thing to do to switch shipping partners over to you guys?
Yeah, great point. So we are built for that exact scenario. We're actually starting everyone off with a month of free access. So you can start a ShipStation account with just an email address. Make sure it's what you're looking for. We're actually set up to where you can connect ShipStation to your sales channels, have those orders import into ShipStation so you can see exactly what your day would look like. You can work with our team to start building in automation to your account, make this a really streamlined process to where when you're ready to go live, you really have it down to where you're just logging into ShipStation, seeing orders that are ready to go out, hit select all and click print. At that point, all of your labels come out, all of the email messaging that we've discussed fires off automatically. ShipStation sends tracking back to both the customer and the platform that it came from to close this loop out for you. The great part about all of this is that you're not taking a leap of faith. So not only do you have to pay to get started, you get a month of free access, but it's also set up to work in tandem with your existing solution. So if you have a shipping platform that maybe you're using currently or that you've been using in the past, you don't necessarily just have to turn that off and then start using ShipStation. You could have orders flowing into both, still process on your legacy system if you're familiar with that before you get comfortable with ShipStation. see everything live, see what it would look like, and then when you're familiar, when you're comfortable, you can just start shipping through ShipStation. That transition is really up to you. So yeah, you can absolutely have ShipStation in place alongside your current solution with no detriment to your operation.
Great, and most of the folks listening to this are going to be on the WooCommerce platform, and I mentioned that you work with just about every marketplace out there on the planet, but you guys have plenty of people on WooCommerce, correct?
Oh yeah, absolutely. WooCommerce is one of our most popular integrations. You're correct. We do integrate with about 100 different selling platforms at this point, but WooCommerce is very high up the list. So yeah, we help thousands of merchants ship WooCommerce orders every day.
Awesome. Well, Cody, is there anything that I didn't ask you that I should have? Anything else you want to add?
No, I think you nailed it again. The kind of first question really drove it home. What is ShipStation? What does it do? We're not a carrier. We're more of a power strip where you can plug in all of your different carriers and all of your different orders into one place. Save you a lot of time, get these orders out the door quickly, and then hopefully use it to drive repeat sales back to you. So I think you nailed it.
Yeah, awesome. Well, man, I'm, like I said at the beginning, really grateful that you were able to come on and share and educate us a little bit about both ShipStation and just sort of this whole niche that you're in of shipping partners. And anybody that's listening, I'll put a link to ShipStation so you can check them out. And I know that they've got folks available. If you have more questions, feel free to follow up. And then if you want, I'm more than happy if you want to reach out to me. Like I said, we've got a lot of customers who are using ShipStation. More than happy to make introductions to anybody listening if you want to speak with a WooCurve customer. So I've got a few of those who are willing as well. So, man, Cody, thanks so much again, and thanks everybody else for listening. And we'll talk soon.